Hi everyone, NeuroCDM here, and I hope you're all having a good day today. For today's video, we're going to begin a series on neuroanatomy. These will be pretty basic in understanding how the nervous system is set up, with some information on function and diseases as we explore the pieces of the nervous system one by one. But we might go deeper in future videos if people are interested in more information. Now, speaking of information, and with that in mind, there's something important that I need to address. So, in this video, and in future videos, I do use images from Wikimedia Commons, as I'm not very good at art, and especially not good at digital art. When I do use those images, I'll cite the file name and citation note from the Wikimedia Commons page, so if you need to check my citations, you can. And I'll also, now that I think about it, I'll try to put those same citations in the description now that YouTube has said that I can put links in the description now. And if you happen to see an image you might be needing for your own presentations or your own lectures or the like, please go support the original creator at Wikimedia Commons. That's what I did when I asked on Blue Sky if anyone had a good source for non-generative AI images on neuroanatomy and neuroscience. And they were kind enough to point me to Wikimedia Commons. Now, with this, to the best of my knowledge, none of these images are made by generative AI, and I will never knowingly use generative AI art or images or animations in my videos. If I find out something was created with generative AI, I'll replace it and re-upload the video as soon as possible. And along with this, all of the boxes and arrows and transitions and other animations that you see here were made using Microsoft PowerPoint. And right now I'm recording this video and all my other videos so far with the built-in recording function in PowerPoint. If you have PowerPoint 365, it's the little button above all that Copilot nonsense Microsoft is pushing. I also have OBS, and if need be, I'll switch over to using OBS at some point, but so far the Microsoft recording button has been good for this. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go to our objectives in this video. So, I'm going to experiment with putting objectives in these videos, not only to help set expectations, but to also give me more help in keeping the video from being too rambling. So in this video, we're going to go over three things. We're going to go over the types of cells in the nervous system, and we're going to go over the broad divisions of the nervous system, and we're going to look at one of the ways the nervous system is organized. Now, that last one can get very detailed because you can describe the nervous system and divide it in multiple ways. But for this video, we're only going to look at one of the ways, so this doesn't get too long and too confusing. In future videos, we'll cover the other ways you can divide it. Okie dokie. So, the types of cells. In the nervous system, there are two overarching types of cells. First, you have the neurons, and their job is to receive and process and transmit information they receive from other neurons and from sensory organs like your touch receptors and your eyes, and they send that information to other neurons and to other parts of your body like your skeletal muscles. Now that's one group of cells. The other group of cells are the support cells, and you may hear them called glial cells or neuroglia, either in this video or future videos, or you may have heard them from specialists like your neurologist or your doctor. And this group is very diverse, as you can see in this chart, and each of them deserves their own video describing what their jobs are in the nervous system. Although there are two of them, the oligodendrocytes and the Schwann cells, that I'll put together in a single video, because they do the same job but in different areas of the body. And together, these two groups of cells, the neurons and the glial cells, make up the nervous system in your body. Now, your nervous system can be broadly divided into two parts. We have the central nervous system, which is also called the CNS, and it is made up of your brain and spinal cord. And the other system is the peripheral nervous system, which is all the other nervous tissue, like the nerves that go to your muscles and the nerves that come up to the brain carrying information and all that other good stuff. And we'll go more detail about the peripheral nervous system with the receptors and nerves in their own videos, especially the sensory receptors and sensory organs, because that can be very in-depth as to how they work with your body so you can experience the world around you. Now, for the last part, as we talked about earlier in the video, there are multiple ways that we can organize the nervous system. But for now, we're going to look at the information the nervous system transmits through the body. And in this case, we have two pathways for information to flow. One of the pathways is the sensory pathway, or you may hear it called the afferent pathway because it sends information about what is affecting the body. And it sends information from the receptors about the environment you are in to your brain and spinal cord. And the other pathway is the motor pathway or the efferent pathway. And you can think of it as the information that causes an effect to your body, like moving a muscle or trying to talk. And again, we're going to go more in detail in later videos, not just of how information travels up and down the nervous system, but other ways that you can divide the nervous system based on what it does to your body and where it's located. So, with that in mind, let's just do a little bit of a review. First, we went over the types of cells in the nervous system, the neurons and the glia. And then we went over how we can divide the nervous system into two broad divisions, the central and the peripheral nervous systems. And at the end, we talked a little bit about how the nervous system can be divided into the sensory or afferent pathway and the motor or efferent pathway when it comes to information flow. And in the upcoming videos, we're going to go over a little bit of cell anatomy because that'll help us understand how the cells in the nervous system, your neurons and your glia function to keep you healthy and happy in life. While I say happy in life, let me rephrase how to keep you healthy and experiencing life. We'll cover things like depression and the like later when we start digging into brain function and neuronal signaling and all that good stuff. And then after some cell anatomy, we'll go over how the brain is set up in a general overview. And then we'll dig a little deeper into its form and function. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do the cell anatomy video first or the brain videos first, so either of those could come next. I also want to do individual videos on the glial cells because they play such an important role in the function and health of your nervous system. But I'll be honest, most of my background is in the neuron, not the glial cells. So I will need to do a lot more reading and research. And I've got some papers from PubMed and my local library's interlibrary loan to help me start reading and getting those set up. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this video and maybe learned a little bit of something about the nervous system. Be safe and have a wonderful day out there, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you have any questions or if you are also well versed in neuroanatomy and the nervous system and would like to share any information I might have left out or maybe oversimplified or have suggestions on how I could better deliver information, and that last one you can do whether or not you have a background in neuroscience. I'm always happy to hear about new tips and tricks and suggestions on how to better improve how I do these videos. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have any resources to suggest, I would be most appreciative. And as I said earlier, I hope you all have a wonderful day and you stay safe out there. Bye bye.